Okay, the meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. Okay, at this time we're going to have our opening prayer, and just, while we do the prayer, keep victims of crime in everyone's prayers, and those who are in the middle of harm's way due to wars and natural disasters. Commissioner Bertino. Ballas. It's that B gets me sometimes.
Lord God, we ask for your blessing on this meeting and for all those assembled here. May our actions be righteous and kind, and may we always be mindful of our obligations to each other and to you. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All stand for the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, we'll have roll call.
Chairwoman Commissioner Corsi is unable to attend today. Commissioner Bertino and Commissioner Gatto are attending virtual.
I also pledge.
Ballas?
Present.
Bertino?
Here.
Burns?
Here.
Hayes?
Here.
Gatto?
Here.
Parker?
Present.
Grizzly?
Here.
Kern?
Here. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from April 2nd, 2024. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the April 2nd, 2024 minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, seconded by Commissioner Risley. We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes. Okay, anyone attending in person who would like to speak regarding an agenda item or a public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name, the town where you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually and would like to speak, please raise your hand during the agenda item or at the public comment at the end. I will call upon your name and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. Okay, now we have a presentation.
In remembrance of former County Executive Richard Dick Squires. Resolution 199.
Are you going to read that? That resolution? Is somebody from the family here? Oh, what? I'm
So moved.
motion made by Commissioner Risley, second by Commissioner Ballas.
Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners resolution in remembrance of Richard Dick Squires. Whereas born in Atlantic City, the Honorable Dick Squires grew up in Egg Harbor Township and received his education from Farmington and Cardiff schools and graduated from Pleasantville High School. And whereas following his graduation, Dick Squires enlisted in the United States Navy, serving in the Korean War aboard the USS Wisconsin BB-64 until his honorable discharge in 1955. And whereas transitioning into civilian life, Dick Squires worked for Coca-Cola before pursuing his esteemed career in public service. And whereas Dick Squires served as a candidate for the New Jersey State Police and subsequently took the role of tax collector for the city of Northfield. And whereas Dick Squires' passion for politics led him to join the Northfield Men's Republican Club and later hold the position of club president. And whereas in 1967, Dick Squires became a licensed New Jersey tax assessor, contributing his expertise to the cities of Pleasantville and Brigantine. And whereas in 1974, Dick Squires assumed the presidency of the Egg Harbor Township Tax Assessor's Office, a role he fulfilled for a decade. And whereas his dedication to public service and further evidenced by his election to the Atlantic County Board of Chosen Freeholders in 1975, eventually becoming the Atlantic County Executive, a position Dick Squires held for 16 years until his retirement in 2000. And whereas during his tenure as county executive, Dick Squires spearheaded various projects, but two he was most proud of include the creation of the Atlantic County Office of Veteran Services, and the establishment of the Atlantic County Veterans Cemetery in Estelle Manor. And whereas the Squires family in the County of Atlantic have experienced a great loss with the passing of Dick Squires, who has left an indelible mark on the community, being remembered for his honor, service, and unwavering dedication to improving lives. And whereas his legacy serves as a testament to the impact one can have through a lifetime of public service, and may the memory of Dick Squires inspire others to follow in his footsteps and make a positive difference in this world. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners that this board does hereby convey its deepest sympathy on the passing of Richard Dick Squires and joins with others in remembrance of a dedicated public servant. And be it further resolved that this board does now send a heartfelt goodbye and thank you to Dick Squires. May he rest in eternal peace at the very cemetery he founded, the Atlantic County Veterans Cemetery.
Thank you. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing hearing none, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Is there anybody here from the family? Yes. We have a couple plaques we'd like to give. And if you would like to say anything.
To be proud and very appreciative of this.
Well, we're very appreciative of
We'll get the long version.
And we also have one from County Executive, Denny Levinson.
Doing good. I'd like to say a few words about Dick because I served with him. I'm the only one left to serve with him years ago. We're all getting older. But about Dick. Dick loved this county very, very deeply. But I can tell you. And I know he went out early in the morning, looked at the roads, and he was great to work with. He served this county perfectly as the county executive. And of course, even after he was done serving as county executive, his love of the county extended over to the historical aspects of this county as well, which I certainly appreciate. He was a straight shooter, loved the county and the Veterans Affairs. We were able to get the Veteran Service Office open. That was very important because there's a lot of veterans that simply, and my dad was one, that's how I know, that don't know their benefits. Don't know what they're entitled to. And that was a vitally important thing, was to get that office open. Exactly. So kudos to your dad. He lived a great life, and I knew him since I was about 17, 18. So that's been a long, long time. I remember when he first ran in '74, and he lost. He was the only one who lost that particular year. And the very next year, he came back and won, and he kept on winning from there. So it's a great legacy, and he served the county extremely well.
Yes, I was a young patrolman when he first started.
Okay.
Just brought the county into the new century, really.
Yeah.
First
you
time,
did.
we could wait for the traffic signal to be fixed, or signs to be repaired or whatever. It would take days. We got in there, and all of a sudden, we're there now. It was nice. It was amazing.
That's great.
We love it.
I'm going to take a photo off with you.
And we loved him. He loved the county.
Yeah, I have them upside down.
No.
Yeah, you're
Got it
right.
right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay, we have Resolution 200,
Resolution declaring the week of April 21st to April 27th, 2024 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week in Atlantic County and recognizing and supporting assistance to victims of crime, sponsor Maureen Craig.
So,
Second.
The motion made by Commissioner Ballas, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none. Anything from the public? Welcome, prosecutor.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And this was requested by the prosecutor's office.
Yes.
That-
So before I get to the National Crime Victims' Rights Week, two things I'd like to do. One is acknowledge Mr. Squires and his passing. I met Mr. Squires when I was 12 years old at the Klein Construction Shop on Huron Avenue in Atlantic City with my father and Eddie Klein. And I think the stories that I've heard peg who the guy was, he really cared about our county. In fact, one of the employees from the staff from our office, Christy Gardner's in the victim witness unit that's here with us today. She actually made a mention of Mr. Squires in a meeting that we had when we were talking about the prerogative that we took to get the streetlights turned on in Atlantic City. And she said when we did that together, that reminded her of Mr. Squires. So it's a great legacy that he's left behind. I just wanted to acknowledge that. I felt remiss if I didn't say something.
Thank you.
Secondly, I appreciate the opportunity to come for all of you. I want to introduce the staff members that I brought with me today. I have the Director of Victim Witness Advocacy, Patricia Hayek. She's over in the corner there. And then her second, Christy Gardner, who I just referenced, who brought Mr. Squires. Also in the back of the room, while you guys come forward so you can see it, is Captain Tom Feynman. Tom's a brigantine guy, Holy Spirit Fathers Club, Elizabeth Ann Seton with Mr. Ferguson and myself, and spent most of his career in major crimes, and now he's a captain in our Special Victims Unit. And also with Tom is Ryan Ripley, who's a sergeant. Ryan spent, about 10 years on the FBI Task Force?
Yes, sir.
Yep, 10 years on the FBI Task Force. He's now a sergeant in the Special Victims Unit. And when it comes to addressing those type of cases, children, women, people with special needs and disabilities, and our veterans, those two have been aces, both of which, actually everyone that's here with me today has been promoted under our administration. I'm surrounded by true, dedicated, committed professionals to public service. I'm blessed to have them with me. Thank you. One of the things that I really like to do is put perspective on what our role is. And sometimes I have to remind myself what my role is as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the county. And one of the things that we did upon our administration taking over is let's focus on what is the actual mission statement of the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office. So for the purpose of not only sharing with all of you as a message to not only your constituents but the public that's watching, I want to take the liberty of reading the mission statement because I think it falls right in line with what National Crime Victims' Rights Week is. So the mission statement of the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office, by the way, we created these for every single person in the organization, and myself and Mr. Bergman and my Secretary Seal went to each person in the organization and personally handed it to them and asked them to display it promptly on their desk to remind us every day why we show up to do this job. So the mission statement reads, to provide professional leadership and guidance through the coordination of law enforcement resources to safeguard and protect the citizens by detection, arrest, prosecution, and conviction of criminal offenders. So National Victim Crime Rights Week, protect the citizens. Our role as the prosecutor's office is to protect all citizens, right? Regardless of race, gender, creed, religion, culture, language, color of their skin, doesn't matter. Our job is to protect all citizens. And one of the things that we take most serious is that if there is information that's provided to our office, we're going to act upon it regardless of who it is. And one of the things that I really pride myself on is making difficult decisions. And I know County Administrator Mr. Del Rosso and County Council Mr. Ferguson have indicated on numerous occasions in our conversations that we've held a high standard since we've been in the office, that we resolve things prompt and efficiently and fairly without due regard for any bias or favoritism, right? And that everything that we do has been to further this mission, to serve not only the people, but also to serve the county and to make sure that we safeguard the entity, the organization, the county. I know we resolved many employment issues without litigation that probably could have been resolved with litigation, but the handling that we got with County Council and County Administrator to make sure that we safeguard and protected the rights of not only the employee or now the ex-employee, but the agency and the organization in the county. So with that being said, April 21st to April 27th is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. I'm also proud to announce that our Director of Victim Witness Advocacy has been selected by the Attorney General. We just got notice of that this week, that she's receiving the Endurance Award, and we're going up together next Friday, and I'm going to have the opportunity, because I nominated Trish for that award, and she was selected, and I'm going to be able to have the opportunity to introduce her and her great career that spans, 22, 23 years?
25 years next week.
25 years next week. And the Endurance Award has nothing to do with about the amount of time that Trish has spent in the office, but it's about the quality of work that she's done to serve victims that we service in our office. And I'll tell you, this goes so near and dear to my heart that in January, I personally took over the supervision and administration of the Victim Witness Advocacy Unit myself. It's so important. It's understaffed. It's underfunded. It's funded only through grants through the Attorney General's office. We literally deal with 20,000, 30,000 victims of crime per year. The stats are astronomical. And I can tell you, under past administrations, where especially the lower level crimes were not being prosecuted and were being remanded, they were punching bags. They were the ones who would get the phone calls and say, why is this case not being prosecuted? It was one of the things that we took into consideration under our administration of why we were prosecuting those cases, because every victim matters. Every victim matters. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on. So the week is April 21 to 27. We're actually having a Victim of Crime Resource Fair at the county office building on April 23rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I'd ask that all of you share that with your constituents. We're going to have social service providers and other agencies that deal with victims of crime, including obviously our office is spearheading it. And then we're having some private ceremonies for victims of crime and victim survivors of crime that we're bringing them to the office, and we're going to honor them for their ability to stay steadfast over the course of years, to be engaged in the case and make sure that the person who does commit that crime does pay the piper, right, and actually face justice. So we've been very blessed to do that. In closing, this is my message for everybody who's listening at home, for the general public, and you can take back to your constituents. 2 words for people that become victims of crime here in Atlantic County. Number 1, we hope that they are able to not only survive, right, and even sometimes the secondary trauma, right, to being re-victimized when they actually are exposed to have to go through that trial or go through that investigation where they're re-victimized over and over and over again, right, where we are there for them. We not only hope that they survive, but they thrive and become a member of the community that's proud that we represented them and represented their interests. That's number 1. Number 2, I want the community to have faith. Faith that if you, your family member, your friend, your relative is a victim of crime, know that our office will be there for you, regardless of whatever the consequence may be. We are going to stand by you. We will investigate it. We will run down every lead, and we will absolutely prosecute when appropriate to the fullest extent of the law. And we want every single person to know that. There is no mincing in my words, that we will do that regardless of who the person is on the other side of that case. So I thank you so much for your time,
Thank you.
and I appreciate it.
Do you have a flyer for that event?
I can email it.
Yes.
You can email
I
it,
can
you
email it to
to
Tara.
Tara, and then we'll get it out so that we can promote that as well. And thank you all for what you do. We're going to take our vote and then we have the final.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate the consideration and the time. If you can't tell, I'm passionate about this, right? We're living it every day. And when I see the work that the team in this office has done and what they've contributed toward this community, and we've been in the office together for 22 months, it feels like it's been about 22 years, right? But we're doing it for the purpose of letting people know we care. People have to know that we care.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. This is very, very important, to our constituents throughout the county. So thank you for caring and being there. We actually have a meeting at our hotel today, and it's the crime victims. They have all the dogs, all the canines, which is very, very interesting to watch this with. There's so many different kind of dogs, but they're trained for comfort, and to, like, I know one of them, like, a victim of rape, this dog, it's a good-sized dog too, would just get up in bed and curl up.
Like
you know,
the
cuddle
emotional
with it.
support dogs, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, some big dogs, some, but they're all, you know, wonderfully trained and great killers too. So.
Chairwoman, on that note, Trish and I both shot public service announcements for this National Crime Victim Rights Week, and I know one of the takes that she had actually had some dogs in the upper corner.
They were messing around in the office, making fun of me. So, however,
True
that's probably
story.
get more likes than the
True-
actual one.
True story.
You know, very well needed, and thank you for that.
Not my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yeah.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Commissioner Ballas, can you read the
Trish, come on up. You're receiving the plaque. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's been a great partnership. Come on.
Oh, okay, okay. Over a little bit, or?
Oh, you guys are perfect. You got 1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all your work.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a good move.
Thank you, Jared.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Come behind you, Gabrielle. He's like, how about you just move those seats or put yourself in the corner?
I can email it to you. I have a PDF.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go first. You're gonna be the second. Well, Margie wasn't prepared. She was not sure. So I go first. You gotta help me
Ordinance
set that.
establishing a mid-block crosswalk on Lost Mill Road, County Route 561, alternate in the Township of Galloway, final reading.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Days, seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Anything from the public? Who want a roll call?
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto? Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to ordinance 3 for the final reading as well.
Yeah.
Ordinance amending County Code Chapter 97 entitled Parks concerning alcohol use and special events involving alcohol within, is that what it is? Within Atlantic County Parks, final reading.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 174.
Resolution determining the form and other details of not to exceed $12,115,000 general obligation bonds of the County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, and providing for its sale of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank pursuant to the New Jersey Transportation Infrastructure Bank Financing Program.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Risley, seconded by Commissioner Burns. Any commissioner comments?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Ballas?
Yeah, I just have one. In reading the backup information, it said that there was public hearings on this, and we reviewed it. Does anybody know about that?
This is, I do know it's the Ventnor Longport Margate, like accessible curbs, drainage, and traffic lights, Jerry.
Yes, that's it. Yes, that was the essence of the program. And we explained it to the budget subcommittee. The I-Bank individual who ran the I-Bank came down, made a presentation to us about the financing. And Bonnie's here, she met with our on council and financial advisor yesterday to go over, how this will work, in terms of, we've done the project. I'm pretty sure we've done most of the final pieces of that project. Renee's on, she can tell if there's anything left. But, so the financing now, this $12 million, Bonnie's going through now how the financing will work. And yes, we had to do a public hearing, and we did that. That was back, I think, when John Peterson was, and Mark Schwartz was still working for the county. We did that, and you had to vote on the project
This
itself.
had to be a long time ago.
Yeah,
It was.
Right.
yeah, so yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't remember this again. Okay.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Alice?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to our grants for today with Resolution 175.
Grant application acceptance from the New Jersey Transit Corporation through the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act and the American Rescue Plan Act for the 2022 Section 5310 grant funding, amount not to exceed $81,144.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 176, please.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Office of the Attorney General for the federal fiscal year 23 Stop Violence Against Women Act, funded amount $74,592, county in-kind match $25,068.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Alice?
Yes.
Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 177.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Office of the Attorney General for the federal fiscal year 23 Victims of Crime Act, funded amount $692,995, county in-kind match $173,396.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Risley, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 178, please.
Adopting New Jersey Department of Transportation contractor pre-qualification class codes as the county's own pre-qualification regulations for all public works construction contracts valued at more than $5 million.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Days, seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? We're all going to have Jerry to explain it.
Okay.
Yes, Renee,
This is the one that had the public.
Yeah. yes, we had the public hearing today. So we held the public hearing today. Renee Fair, our department head for planning and engineering, will go through that. Renee, you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Good afternoon. This resolution applies to a particular subset of the county's transportation projects. Through, per the New Jersey Administrative Code, for all projects that are funded in whole or in part through the state aid program, each bidder on a construction contract that's valued at more than $5 million has to be pre-qualified by DOT. So over the years, we and other counties have met that requirement, ensuring that contractors on our state aid projects in excess of $5 million are on that NJDOT pre-qualified list. An issue arose last year where one of our northern counties, the Office of the State Comptroller, basically flagged one of their projects and said, counties can't just use the DOT's pre-qualification list, you have to go through a process to formally adopt the NJDOT's pre-qualification class codes for your own projects and then obtain approval from the Division of Local Government Services. So that process requires a public hearing and an authorizing resolution, which is what you're considering today. As Jerry mentioned, the hearing was held today at 2 o'clock in the Commissioners' meeting room. It was publicly advertised, but no public attended. And following Commissioner action today, we'll take all of the documentation of the hearing, the notices, and the resolution, and we'll send that to Local Government Services for approval to use the NJDOT pre-qualified list. Any questions?
Commissioner comments, questions? Anybody from the public? Okay, seeing, hearing none, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Trutino?
Yes.
Burns? Yes. Dees?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. And thank you for being here for that information explaining this. Resolution 179.
Amending Resolution Number 586, adopted on November 14, 2023, a grant from the New Jersey Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services for the County Opioid Epidemic Innovation Grant, net increase $25,212.
Moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Parker, seconded by Commissioner Burns. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Trutino?
Yes.
Burns? Yes. Dees?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 180.
Amending Resolution Number 419, adopted on August 15, 2023, a grant from the New Jersey Association of County and City Health Officials to support continued COVID-19 response and enhance local health department infrastructure to extend the term date, amount not to exceed $2,466,412.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Latino?
Yes.
Burns? Yes. Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 180.
Amending Resolution Number 61, adopted on February 20, 2024, a grant from the United States Department of Justice through the State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Grant to adjust the salary, funded amount $79,321, county in-kind match $3,758.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, seconded by Commissioner Burns. Any commissioner comments?
With correction, that's 181.
Thank you. Any commissioner comments? Anything from the public? Seeing, hearing none, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Burns? Yes. Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Bring us to Resolution 182.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs through the Local Efficiency Achievement Program to enhance the Sheriff's Office K-9 unit. Funded amount $112,500. County cash match $37,500.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Parker. Any comments from the commissioners?
The undersheriff's here.
And our undersheriff is here. Mario, would you like to make any comments on this?
No, I was waiting for the sheriff. He was going to make a comment, but you guys can go right ahead.
Well, yeah, when you get it, he's going to be here shortly. Okay, we'll come back.
He's late, maybe we shouldn't pass it.
Okay, any comments from the public? Seeing, hearing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Burns? Yes. Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Professional service agreements with Resolution 183.
Amending Resolution Number 626, adopted on November 21st, 2023, a professional services agreement with Angels in Motion NJ to provide addiction recovery services, net increase $25,212.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, seconded by Commissioner Burns. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Latino?
Yes.
Burns? Yes. Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 184.
Amending Resolution Number 718 adopted on December 19, 2023, an alternate method contract with Trapeze Software Group Incorporated, doing business as TripSpark Technologies to provide software maintenance to the transportation unit. Net increase $30.
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Day, second by Commissioner Parker. Any commissioner comments?
It's amazing, they just said eat the $30. It's crazy.
Any comments from the public? Seeing hearing none, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 185.
Interlocal agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority to provide bidding and construction management services for the Stillwater Complex pavement restoration Phase 3, amount not to exceed $17,143.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Risley, seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 186.
Pending resolution number 569 adopted on October 17, 2023, an interlocal agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority to bid and manage community development block grant funds for ADA improvements to the Hamilton Library. Net increase $56,683.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 187.
Amending Resolution Number 529 adopted on September 19, 2023, a shared services agreement with Ocean County to place Atlantic County youth at the Ocean County Juvenile Detention Center. Net increase $9,112.50.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 188.
Interlocal agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority to bid and manage construction of the interior renovations to the Atlantic County Animal Shelter. Amount not to exceed $32,000.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments?
Sure.
Commissioner
Yeah,
Ballas.
just wondered what are they having done there?
Well, we had an inspection, safety inspection through our risk manager, and PERMA, who is through our joint insurance fund. So let Chris say exactly what they're going to do, but it had to deal with the noise that's created in the facility. Chris, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you now, Chris.
Okay. So there's a noise issue that we're having inside the kennel units. So we're going to put sound attenuation blankets on the exterior walls, and we're going to put a sound drop ceilings in there. Now, in order to do that, we have to adjust all the electrical and all of the HVAC. It has to be brought down from the ceilings to a lower level. The purpose of everything is to reduce the sound that's inside the kennels. This is going to be a very, very involved project.
Yeah. And we think it can be completed with 32,000?
That's the construction management portion.
This will be a cost.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put it down, guys.
How about bar collars? Can we get bar collars instead?
It's the,
But it's actually for protection of technically the employees, so, it's,
and it also includes some IDOT as well. Is that true?
They have to move the HVAC.
we have to move.
Yeah, in order to get the drop ceiling in.
Wow.
This is
money that
Yeah, so Terry, this is the result of an inspection. How often has this been conducted? And why has it never been mentioned before?
They probably have not gotten probably the noise level that they are right now. That's probably what it is, because we go there every year. The risk manager is in there she goes to every single building every year. Probably the noise level wasn't when they were there this time. And plus, we also have now, through the joint insurance fund, we have another agency called PERMA. So they go in and they do a pretty good safety inspection on every building.
Is the animal shelter more full than it's been in the past, or we just have more active animals, or was it a bad day?
It's hard.
Was it a bad day?
Well, there are more animals in
Full
there.
moon, was it the eclipse?
There are many more animals.
Ironically, I had to call out there today for something, and they are full.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Well, I won't get into, but there have been a number of situations that the prosecutor has, interceded in, and so therefore they've had a lot of dogs that they've had to take possession of, and so we are the supposedly shelter for those animals.
Any other commissioner comments? Seeing hearing none.
Maybe cheaper just to add on.
Yeah.
Might be cheaper just to add on.
I think everybody should take a dog.
I mean, if you added on, if you had to add on today, you'd have to. If you added on today after what we've gone through, we would have to probably, the design would be much different than it was. I mean, Chris will tell you. I mean, he's very knowledgeable. Chris, why don't you do the metal building, whatever. So, okay, all right.
Any comments from the public? Hey, well, roll call.
Ellis?
Yes.
Rosino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carried. I do see our sheriff here now, so before we go into resolution 189, if you'd like any comments on our previous resolution. Okay, none.
Madam Chairman and the Board of Commissioners, I'd like to thank you for this help that the Sheriff's Department needs. This dog will supply a second bomb dog that's utilized for our schools or any gathering to include religious facilities. It's been a tremendous amount of calls that we've had from other police agencies to assist with the bomb dog. We have one, but as you know, we have 23 municipalities. Recently, we were called out of county to assist Franklin Township, and unfortunately, we didn't have the dog to send. This happens a lot now. This is of no cost to the taxpayers, about $2,000, I believe, and the rest comes from within our budget and from a federal grant that was obtained. We appreciate the cooperation. This is a community builder, and the dog is used for strictly bombs. We will have the training completed. The Sheriff's Department is ready, willing, and able to bring this forward. And we will check all buildings, including our county buildings and facilities, to make sure that everybody's safe and secure. These are troubling times, and we want to be ahead of the game. This will give us the upper hand and give us the ability to give everybody the service that should be given to our citizenry. And I wanted to run down here after work and thank you for your support on this matter, because it's greatly needed. And I'll take any questions if the board has any.
I think it's 37,500, by the way.
Yes, ma'am, it is. It's 37, but I understand that comes out of general budget issues that we might have, so.
Yeah, and as I mentioned last evening at an event, we were at, I saw the need for that dog, recently in Summers Point, where there was a home that they went into it was narcotics. And as they went into the home, they found 82 firearms, some of which were loaded. And they also found chemicals that they could make bombs with and other things throughout the home. So they had to leave and wait for a dog. So that's protecting the neighborhood. It protects the officers that have to go in there. But they handled it. They were there for quite some time. And there's a great need for these dogs. It's explosives.
Well, there is, and recently we've been called, as you know, to Egg Harbor Township school systems and other school systems when they had these bomb threats and these terrorist threats. So we have to make sure that our most valuable children are protected. That's above all. And certainly our county buildings. So we want to make sure that Frank Ballas is protected in here as well, and everybody else. Listen, I just wanted to thank you for your support, as we always need that, but we want the citizens to know that it's well spent, that it'll come to great use, and it protects our most valuable assets, as I said, our children.
Right, as you mentioned also, 23 municipalities.
Yes, ma'am.
Schools, our buildings, and, I'm sure I'm missing a few things.
Our court buildings, this building, all the county buildings, and not to mention the county municipal court building that has had some issues, some threats that are viable, came through on a federal level. So we want to make sure everybody's safe as we can be, and we use them as, we also have utilized them for drug confiscation, vehicle checks, and as you eloquently advised, for firearms. We have a big problem with that. So that's what we're working on. We work in conjunction with all police agencies, and when they call, we come, no matter what time, what day.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff.
Sir?
You're not out of the hot water yet, sir.
Wouldn't be the first time, my friend.
I just have one simple question.
Sure.
With the addition of this dog, does that bring your department to a sufficient status, or is that enough to handle the job, or are we moving in the right direction?
We're moving in the right direction. We are in the process of hiring 5 new employees to fill 5 vacancies that we have. And as you know, that's an arduous process, because take a look, folks, look at our culture and society now. There's a reason that people don't want to do policing anymore. They feel, for lack of a better term, unwanted. And that is not the case. We had an officer in Galloway that was cut very severely in the face the other night answering a 911 hang-up call. This is common now. And without public support, we can't do this job. We need our public to support us, as well as our commission board and our public officials. But more importantly, we need public support. We need to know that you want us to be here, want us to do the job. None of us come on this job with intent to do anything other than to protect and to serve. And those who do are quickly weeded out. Ask Frank, he weeded a few out. So he knows. He was our past sheriff. And we do great painstaking investigation, which takes weeks, to make sure these officers are qualified and ready for this job. So I can assure you, we are doing the same. We've continued what Frank Ballas left in that aspect, and we will continue to do so. And I just want you to know, we need you to want us. Hope I answered that.
Sheriff,
Yes, we want you. We appreciate you.
how will we know as commissioners, what is that level? Like, how many dogs do we need? How many employees do we need? What is that level where you feel the department is fully staffed and able to respond to what we're seeing out here? And you don't have to answer now. You don't have to answer that. I don't want you to just come up with an answer. I'm just saying, in moving forward, how do we have that ongoing proactive conversation so that we're not waiting for situations?
Well, we
to
have
happen?
dialogue, right? The sheriff has to appear here and explain to both you and the public what the need is, and if you're willing to help us do that and accomplish that goal, and if we can. And it always comes down to finance. That's the issue. But first and foremost, dedication. The men and women of this department are very excited now, overly dedicated. They're staying and they're doing shifts. You know, we have Stockton College, which has been very vulnerable in its policing, and we've had to support Stockton College, both in Atlantic City and in Galloway. And these are our kids, this is our future. So without the policing there, with everything going on, they're vulnerable. We have to try to help. This was passed on from the last sheriff, we continue it. And the only way I can answer that is what we're called to do. If you call us, we'll come. All we ask is that you give us the tools and the ability to do that job, and I promise you, we'll be there. You could see the warrant list that we had. It's published weekly. We are executing warrants to include child support warrants, and I've had people sometimes criticize that. My answer to that is, tell that to the victims of these heinous crimes, that we shouldn't arrest people. Tell the people, the children, and the parent that they shouldn't get the child support to support their children. If that warrant's issued, we're going to execute it. and that includes municipal warrants. So having said that, we're venturing into new territory, but it is so needed. We were left with almost 7,000 county warrants. Unsurmisable. It's unrealistic not to think that we have to work hard, but we're willing to do that. And even Mario Suarez, I have him out working at night. He's not too happy. His wife called me, she's not too happy either. But I'm sorry, that's the job we took. And we appreciate it. And I want to thank the board, as always, especially to our prior Sheriff Frank Ballas, who always is willing to take my calls, give us direction, and help us with our endeavors. And,
By the way, it did pass.
I was called, and I thank you for that. I appreciate it. Any other questions from Madam Chair?
It was actually Frank that said we should vote it down because you were late.
I
just
knew
wanted
that.
you to know that.
He was a stickler for that.
Commissioner Ballas?
So Sheriff, this is for one dog or two? I know it's 2 vehicles.
Well,
And how many dogs does this bring?
as you know, we have actually a vehicle that's in disrepair terribly. It's not suitable and it doesn't meet what we need for our dog. So we're alternating cars and doors and interiors and things like that, whatever we need to do. And we're hoping with this amount of money that we can get 2 dogs trained and have the cars that we need or the equipment in the vehicles that we need to do that. And I believe we will. It's a substantial amount of money for this project. I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you, but yeah, it's $112,000 plus the 37. So that'll, and it'll mean a lot because the agency is very anxious to do this job. I mean, they're going out all hours of the night. Our canine officers have been called out just about at least every other day, if not every day. And when we have 2 calls, we don't have the people to send. So that's why we're requesting the assistance orders. But like I said, the federal grant paid most of this, and I think that's a good thing. Anybody else?
Thank you so much, Sheriff.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Members of the commission, thank you.
Folks.
Okay, that brings us to Resolution 189.
The U.S. contract with Insurance Agencies Incorporated to purchase a storage tank pollution liability policy, including terrorism coverage through Crum Enforcer for the county's 4 above-ground fuel storage tanks, amount not to exceed $2,445.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rizzi, seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to Resolution 190, please.
Resolution accepting the assignment of an agreement from W.J. Castle P.E. and Associates P.C. to Childs Engineering Corporation for the replacement of Moss Mill Road culverts G108 and PR10, and to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments?
Yeah,
Commissioner
Madam Chair.
Days.
Jerry, I mentioned this at the last Rosa Bridges meeting, and I knew that the previous company had been purchased. Now,
Right.
This is say that we're extending the contract for 6 months. I noted at the time that we're closing in on 2 years if these have been under development. So, I mean, is there an update on the process? Is there any way we kind of, I don't want to expedite, I want it to be done correctly, but, I mean, this is just a delay after delay after delay for this.
Yeah, well,
As soon as they put the beacons in, it's like,
yeah. Doug, you there? Did you hear the question?
Yes, yes, I did. Yeah, we've been working to try to get this assignment for the last few months, so that's kind of been part of the delay. There's also some issues with the permitting, which is causing us to have to change our design slightly. Hopefully now that we have the assignment done, we can get the consultant out there working and move this along as quickly as possible.
Are those environmental permits because there's wetlands on either side, obviously?
Yeah, it's wetlands, it's stream encroachment. We're also in a CAFRA zone, so there's several permits that needed to be looked at, and the original design had significant encroachment on wetlands, so we are adjusting the one culvert so that we don't have as much issues.
You know, I mean, thankfully, like I said, again, in the Roads and Bridges meeting, we had a fairly warm winter, but previously, on that curve right there, especially on Moss Mill between Pitney and Old Port, I would say, it was a fairly dangerous situation, and I know that's why that steel plate was put down, but, you know, I mean, if there's anything that can be done to kind of move this along before, and hopefully we don't have a cold winter, but that's a pretty dangerous curve right there.
Right. Yeah, we'll work on expediting it as best we can.
Any other commissioner comments? Seeing here none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 191, please.
Amending resolution number 75 adopted February 20, 2024, an alternate method contract with Capital Health for the provision of medical treatment services rendered to the inmate population at the Atlantic County Justice Facility. Net increase $38,000.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bell, seconded by Commissioner Parker. Any commissioner comments? Seeing here none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolution number 192 to 195. They are appointments.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas? Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. And again, as we do, the commissioners, the board of commissioners, thank these people that volunteer their time, for these boards and commissions. Okay, I'll also now entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolution number 196 to 198 for roadway solicitation.
So moved. Second.
Madam Chair, I may have closed for a second there. Did we vote on approving the last, we voted to bring them together, but did we vote on their approval?
Combined and adopt. Combined and adopt.
Oh,
Combined and adopt.
You do. It had, we got you.
Okay, I know I had a motion on this.
Yes. Made it.
Moved by Commissioner Bell, seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments? Anything from the public? All right, well, roll call.
Ballas? Patino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to written communications and petitions. Any commissioner have anything that they would like to share? Seeing none, reports of special committees of the board. Any reports of special committees of the board?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Parker.
From the library committee, I just wanted to report that the Egg Harbor Township HVAC and generator project should be completed. At our last meeting, it was close to or near completion. Sherry, I think it's completed now?
Yes.
The Egg Harbor Township Library project with the HVAC and the generator?
Yes.
Okay, and we also have the Mays Landing Library will begin an HVAC and generator project. So we're doing a lot of work on our libraries in the county. We've been receiving gold, silver, and bronze Best of the Press libraries here in our county for the last few years. So we are making significant investments into our libraries, which is a good thing. Also from the library, the schedule changed for 2024 just a little bit. Lincoln, we normally have Lincoln's birthday off. We did not have they did not have Lincoln's birthday off, but they're switching that for Black Friday. So they'll have Black Friday off and they switch those two holidays. I just wanted everyone to know that. So Black Friday, the libraries will be closed in the county. What else is there? There is a Mays Landing Library has a butterfly garden, and they're asking for volunteer help for anyone out there in the public that would like to help out with the butterfly garden in Mays Landing. They're soliciting the public's help, so reach out to the Mays Landing Library to help out there. And there's some preliminary discussions about moving Summers Point Library. So I just want to put that out there. It's starting now. And Jerry, I don't know if you wanted to go into that at all, but I just wanted to mention it for the conversations have begun about possibly moving that library to another location in Summers Point. And I believe the new location they want to move it to or considering moving it to is one of the old school buildings.
New York Avenue.
New York
New York
Avenue.
Avenue.
School. One of the challenges that we spoke about in committee was the building itself. You know, school building's not exactly, you know, if you look at the interior of a school, it's classroom space, and that's not exactly the structure that you want for a library. So I don't know, there may be some challenges in terms of that, but, you know, to be continued, that's going to be discussed. What else?
Can I say something on that real quick? So in Linwood is a former school, and as you know, our libraries have become community centers. So it could be an advantage to the Summers Point Library, where a lot of people want meeting rooms, your sports organizations meet there, technology rooms right now, so keep that in mind.
Absolutely. One thing I did want to ask Jerry, Madam Chair, through you too, Jerry, it came up again, there was a reduction in the reduced rate due to the leap year for our employees of the library, and they were waiting for some sort of response from administration to just, and the library administration, to that point, they said they knew, but I think the employees were looking for something so that they can have a little bit of peace of mind from our office to explain to them why, because they were getting less in their check. That's all they saw. Their check was reduced, and so they needed some sort of explanation of how the leap year impacted their pay.
And then we're having a meeting about it internally, and then we'll give them something, you know, more concrete.
Got it. Thank you. Education and Schools Committee, we met, if I can switch over since I still have the microphone. We met with Insight. That's a provider. They claim to be the largest provider of psychiatric care in South Jersey. It's their claim, that's not mine, it comes from them. They want to put, proposing to I guess, Jerry, would you like to talk about it a little bit more, or?
Just Insight has a number of schools. They tell us that they have 200 schools in New Jersey. They provide typically for schools the ability to do virtual counseling or virtual or psychiatric review. They also then follow up with the school district and the kids, and the child and their families. They came to us. There is a question on the table as to whether or not you can recreate a psychiatric intervention program in the center part of the county. We discussed this with the present provider of PIP. It's called PIP, Psychiatric Intervention Program, Atlantic Care. They have been to the state. The state will not allow another PIP in the county. So we presently are looking at other services to provide in the western or the center part of the county. So Insight wants to be part of that for the provision of the services. They want to provide whatever it is we finally come up with. So we are having those conversations as to actually what it is we will attempt to do. So I've spoken to Ms. Leslie White-Corsi, and we've spoken with Atlantic Care. We're going to set up a meeting to determine exactly what it is, since we can't set up another PIP, what it is we can do, and then obviously Insight could be potentially part of that service provision here.
Madam Chair, he did such a great job that ends my report.
Thank you very much for your report.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Bells.
Yeah, from the Veterans Advisory Board. So Saturday, myself and about 8 or 9 members and some spouses of the Veterans Advisory Board members went out to the Bowling Cemetery in Galloway, the historic cemetery, and replaced, I would say 90% of the rotted rails that were there. It was funded by a few donations that Don Walls, a member of the Veterans Advisory Board, got to the tune of about, yes, it was around $700 for the rails and a couple posts. Actually needs some more posts, but Lowe's only had 3, so that's what we replaced. Contacted Jerry, and the county came and picked up all the the discarded material that, the old rails and stuff like that were there. So it was really nice, good gathering for the Veterans Advisory Board members to go out and do something, in the community and for veterans. As you know, it's a historic cemetery. One thing that was very prevalent there, and I don't know if the county did it or who did it, but somebody went out and cleaned all the gravestones that were there. They were all moldy and dirty, and you could hardly read, what's on them. And these are gravestones that are from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And somebody went out and cleaned them all, and it was very noticeable to the veterans that go there all the time and see it. So it was the county, thank you, but if it wasn't, we don't know who did it.
Thank you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever did it, thank you.
That's it. Commissioner Ballas, you're always so good at finding these projects and getting in and working hard to get them done. I truly mean that, so thank you for all that. Any other special reports of the board? Okay, any unfinished business?
Madam Chair, I got
Commissioner Grizzly?
Yeah, 2 items. Jerry, where are we on the centralized dispatch report? Do we have that yet?
No, they're having their meetings right now. They met with,
Still in development?
yes, correct, yes. Right.
All right, so that was one question. And the second thing in my mind was for our engineer, for Doug, there was a broken pipe that closed the road going to the Port Republic Bridge. I'm just wondering if that's been resolved yet.
Yeah, the pipe has been repaired, the road is back open.
Good. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, on unfinished business. Jerry, any updates on the study they're doing on the rehabilitation center, the new regional jail?
The only update we have is we've submitted all our material. They asked for some additional material from us, and the courts are preparing their piece. The jail has prepared their piece, is already submitted, and we're just waiting for the jail to give us the rest of that. Once they get all the material, then they're going to hold a meeting. I think there is a meeting in May sometime to tell us what the results of all the data that they have, what they're looking at. So that's what we're waiting for.
Okay, so they're still in the data collection and
Correct.
analyzing.
Correct, yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other unfinished business? Seeing hearing none, any new business? Seeing hearing none, anyone attending in person, we're going into public comments that would like to speak now at public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town you reside. If you are attending virtually, you would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand. I will call upon your name and request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. And that we do that to allow as many people that can speak. Do we have anybody in the public?
Yes.
Come on up.
Oh, wait.
My name is Jared Lombardi. I reside in Egg Harbor Township. I'm a social worker servicing the Atlantic County area. Today I will be asking questions regarding the opioid settlement fund that was handed out to New Jersey, in particular Atlantic County. Where do you plan to allocate the opioid abatement fund for 2024?
Jerry, I think a lot of these are going to be you. Do you want them to go one by one?
Well, it's
I want to
You have
get into
multiple
the time
questions?
constraint, so I have plenty.
Okay.
So where do you plan to allocate the opioid abatement funds in 2024? Where were the funds allocated in 2023? And were there funds allocated in 2022?
There were no funds allocated in 2022. The county executive put a committee together. There's roughly 45 agencies represented. The agencies represented, for the most part, all could apply for the settlement funds. So we decided to put together a task force of individuals involved in the field, but who could not apply for the funding, so that we didn't have any conflicts of interest when we were deliberating. In 2023, we funded a program called The Bridge. That it's a program with Atlanticare. Actually, so let's go back. The committee itself, the members around 45 agencies, requested proposals from the community so that we could get some money out onto the street. We had 5 proposals. They voted on. We have 5 subcommittees of that large committee. They reviewed and voted on the bridge program from Atlanticare. They thought that was the best proposal. We had 5 all told. That was funded. That is funded until the end of 2024. In the meantime, we decided we put this 15-member task force together to do a survey of the community, and we did that recently. I don't know if you saw that. It was on our website, and we sent out information to all the agencies in the community that deal in either mental health and or opioid usage. And we have the results now. We're waiting for the recommendations from the company who actually did the work for us. It's called Triad. We're waiting for those recommendations. We've set up the task force meeting. The recommendations, we've been told by Triad, we'll get them before the end of April. We'll submit them to the task force. They will look at the results. We will then give the results to the large committee, that 45-member committee. And from there, we'll decide on where the money should be going, starting in 2024, going forward. And I mean, I've seen the results, but I don't have the recommendations yet. But I mean, they have things, like education, sober living, dual diagnosed individuals, they call occurring, whatever language they're using today. So those are the kinds of things that were in the survey. That's what we're waiting to see what those results are. Correct?
Okay, thank you for that information. Now, when it comes to multiple agencies who serve multiple clients and do not charge, there was no money allocated to those nonprofits or organizations during the 2023 opioid abatement fund. Looking at Angels in Motion, looking at Hope Exists, and looking at South Jersey AIDS Alliance, who served 1,000 clients during that year. No money was ever received. Now you look over to the agencies that charge, Atlanticare in particular. If you look at the opioid abatement fund, you'll be able to see that $1.2 million was given to Atlanticare for this opioid abatement fund. Now, are we focused on Atlantic City, or are we focused on Atlantic County?
Oh, it's Atlantic County.
Okay.
It's Atlantic County. I'm only saying that the 5 proposals that we received, again, the committee, the 45-member committee put together 5 subcommittees, and those projects were all reviewed by those 5 committees. That was the only project that they wanted to fund, so it's not like we didn't look. But I can tell you this. I mean, there's been lots of discussions about where the money should go. And hopefully after this survey, as the recommendations come to us and go back to the committees, we will have a better direction on where we should head. So.
Thank you. Now, before the money was distributed, did you reach out to other municipalities who also received funds, asking them what they plan to use their money for so we didn't overlap?
Yeah, we did. I had conversations with all the administrators. I think there are 7 towns with more than 10,000 people. I think that's the criteria that you get opioid funding. Okay. Only 2 said they wanted to participate with us. So I believe each one of them has a member on either the larger committee or the task force. So they want to support, both of those towns want to support whatever when I say the county, I'm not saying county government, it's the committees that the county has. So whatever those committees are going to recommend to the county to go out for RFPs or competitive contracts, they will support those projects, 2 of the 7.
Okay. What about the towns that had less than 10,000 residents? Did we look into a stipend that could be offered for their rescue squads?
That hasn't come up yet. I mean, you're recommending it, I'll write that down. That has not come up yet, I can be honest with you. One of the discussions did come up was that whole issue of Narcan. Buying Narcan and then distributing it to the rescue squads. I mean, that was a recommendation from the larger committee. I don't know if you know Chuck Ewell, Mr. Yule is the president, I think, of the Galloway EMS service, so he sits on that committee, so. And I believe he's also on the task force. So that has come up. That will probably be, one of the recommendations probably out of the survey that was done, because that has come up in the survey, Narcan distribution.
Now, in 2023, with the opioid abatement fund, are you able to tell me how many clients Atlantic Care processed with the fund?
The last I saw was around 22, 23.
Since June of 2020?
Correct, yes.
And with the $1.2 million?
We didn't give them $1.2 million.
How much were they awarded?
I believe the contract was $266,000.
So in the opioid abatement fund, when looking it up on NJ.gov, is that a mistake on their end?
That's not from us. I'm not sure where you would find ours. Our county treasurer has to submit to a separate entity, where those funds go. So I'm not sure they're necessarily showing up on the state level.
Yeah, so when it says to Atlantic Care signing off, it says, please tell us the full amount of opioid abatement funds you received on June 30th, 2023. $1,215,827.23.
That's not necessarily from us. As an example, if you look at today's agenda, there's opioid funding. It doesn't come from the county, it comes from the state. You have to understand, the state has a lot of money. I mean, the way the opioid funding came into New Jersey was all the entities were represented by legal firms. The head of the legal firm representing the counties and the state lawyers decided how could we as a state get the most money. The decision was made that all of the subunits, meaning counties and the municipalities at the 10,000 or more, would all agree that we would sign off on an agreement that we would jointly work with each other. By doing that, the state got more money, and the decision was the state would give all the counties and municipalities 50% of whatever came into the state of New Jersey. So they have, you know, they have a lot of money, and they have been distributing those dollars as you see today. Those dollars, I think, in two of the resolutions, there was opioid funding, came directly from the state, not from Atlantic County.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public like to speak?
Ann H. Phillips, Brigantine. I'm reading the short letter I sent the chair last month with the request that she share it with the board. During the winter of 2023, the board passed a resolution supporting a moratorium on ocean testing for the offshore wind projects until a connection between it and the numerous number of whale deaths was or was not determined. Since then, the board has been silent regarding the industrialization of our coast with these monstrous structures. Ørsted has canceled its ocean wind projects. That's good news, but this is no time for complacency. The governor keeps pushing on his quote-unquote green agenda. Atlantic Shores has expanded its plans, and the state has approved 2 new projects. Local citizens groups and some coastal governments have organized and come together in opposition, such as DBB and the Down Beach Alliance. They get the facts, inform the public, have fundraising, and they're using the law and the courts to fight back. However, Atlantic County government continues to be silent, a non-participant in these efforts to protect our environment, our economy, our pocketbooks, and our way of life. Why? The claims that these so-called clean intrusions into and on our ocean that they help our climate are false. Ratepayers/taxpayers will be the victims, not the beneficiaries of this massive assault on our area by those with motives other than our and our country's best interests. Now here I'm just going to add something that I read just recently from the Wall Street Journal, the April 12th editorial. Quote, by our calculations, electricity prices have increased 13 times faster under Mr. Biden than across the previous 7 years. His policies aren't entirely to blame, but most of it is a result of the left's climate agenda, such as these offshore wind turbines in New Jersey, and the price increases will get worse. I ask that you, as our representatives, do a thorough study individually and as a board of this very important issue. Take a position and vote on it, and make clear to the public what that position is. Thank you.
Anybody else in the public?
Hi, and thank you for your time today. It was an honor to be here today to listen to the sheriff talking about our public safety. I am Brooks Garrison. I am a resident of Brigantine. I'm also a member of Defend Brigantine Beach, and I'm here today to talk about the economic impact to Atlantic County. You all have received emails from Defend Brigantine Beach, Dr. Susan Moore, and today I handed out to you a couple of the documents from that overall study and that document. I think it's very important to first understand the scope of the project, which is what the first page summarizes, which is between Atlantic Shores and Ocean Wind, Orsted. There are 566 proposed within the 9 miles and 15 miles offshore that are within the visual area. But that's also, of course, the prime fishing ground area. There's a total of 1,800 proposed, 6,400 miles of high voltage electromagnetic cables to be installed, all trenched in, all supported. The Atlantic Shores Build project, I'm an architect in New Jersey. One of the things that's interesting, the Atlantic Shore Build project proposes 1.4 acres of stone around every single pilot, every single wind turbine. That will completely change predation and the natural seafloor, which will have a massive economic impact. The economic impact in Atlantic County is not good news. In the document that was handed out are the sources from the Department of Labor and Statistics, NewJersey.gov, and the AtlanticCounty.org, all showing the trending in Atlantic County economically down from 2000 to 2021, the latest statistics. Economic trend includes the casino revenues, which are substantially down because, of course, the online gambling. The casino business is a keystone of the industry here in South Jersey, especially in Brigantine, Atlantic City, and Down Beach communities that we represent. Very concerned about those jobs, and we know that the other side continues to talk about jobs and the economic benefit and the environmental impact. Again, the facts are on defendbrigantinebeach.org, our website, that have all of these studies and impacts on them. The concern is the economic impact in Atlantic County summarized in this report from the public information, all trending down. When you compare that to the Cape May County economic trend, which is up substantially, there's a significant difference in risk for residents here in Atlantic County. Our concern, again, is for our Board of Commissioners to take action to try to mitigate the forecasted risk. We know the trends, we have the facts, and we summarize it in here. Again, offshore wind is neither clean nor jobs for New Jersey, and we're concerned about both. Thank you for your time today.
Brought a little diagram.
He told me to bring my board. That's okay, you probably want to make sure the camera can see it.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
that,
the camera?
is that the best spot maybe?
I think you want to be right here.
No, camera can't see it.
I lied to you, so
It was better here.
I think I'll get it.
Coming back. You good?
I tried to be helpful.
Cover me
You
up.
said that.
My name is Sherry Lilienfeld, and I reside in Margate. Following up on what Brooke said, the whole idea of these wind turbines is that it's supposed to save the environment. They're green, they're clean. And if you read the government reports, the BOEM reports, Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, they're 4,000-page report, and you read it, one of the quotes in there is, overall, it is anticipated that there will be no collective impact on global warming as a result of offshore wind projects. Okay? These are their words. This is their research. And also, their studies and their data don't even include the fact that these are manufactured in other countries, a lot of them in China, with steel and composite materials, which are very ungreen processes to make them. They have to be put on diesel boats. They are then shipped here. They're put together. Each wind turbine uses 187 gallons of grease, 40 gallons of hydraulic oil, 106 gallons of pure oil, 1,585 gallons of dielectric fluid. I can go on and on about, and I'm not even talking about the substations that use grease, fuels, lubricants, and they're unreliable and they need backup energy, which are fossil fuels. My point is, they're not green, so the whole benefit, the whole premise behind these wind turbines is, excuse me for a lie, I was going to say something else, but they're not green. But there's a whole bunch of negatives also in their reports that they talk about, and they actually talk about the adverse effects of marine life. Our whole ecosystem is going to be destroyed. I'm going to just read a few of these things to you. Ecosystem destruction, fishing industry decimation, boating industry ruin, loss of tourism. Let's talk about Atlantic County. Our county depends on tourism. When that goes, our real estate values are going down. Small businesses are suffering. I'm just saying, there's no positives, and they say it in their own reports, there's all these negatives. You talked about having a special committee. I think you need a special committee who is going to take the time and understand this, because it's complicated. And I got to say, everyone I talk to, I have a chemical engineering background, and people would say, what do you think of this? I'm like, I don't know, I got to understand it better. When I started reading their reports, I started getting angrier and angrier. It's all in there. You have to take the time to read it. You have to take the time to understand it. All the people I've met through these organizations are incredibly intelligent, successful people. And they all said the same thing. How did we not know this? Because the news says, oh, look, we're saving the world with our wind turbines. It is a disaster. Please put a committee together. Do not approve anything. Do not let cables run through our towns. By the way, those are EMF cables, and they're very, very unsafe, and you don't want them around homes and parks and anything like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, thank you for your time tonight. And by the way, Sherry is a member of Margate Sustainability Committee in Margate. Yeah. So she is definitely all about being green. So a couple things that I just wanted to...
You just need your name and...
Oh, sorry, Margie Real, Margate. Thank you for the reminder. A couple of issues that I wanted to bring up are, number one, the national security issues that we face. These projects can interfere with the Coast Guard's search and rescue missions. Radar, the most sophisticated radar in the country, our satellites. The turbines actually sound like submarines. So when, if in fact there is a submarine coming at us, getting ready to attack us, we have no way to distinguish whether it's a wind turbine or a submarine. And then also there are some stated health issues wind turbine syndrome, includes migraines, ADHD in communities that have wind turbines nearby. The state and federal government and its agencies continue to refuse to admit any possibility that the mapping of the ocean floor contributes to marine mammal strandings and deaths over the last 18 months. There's at least a possibility of them contributing to the disorientation of our marine mammals that we've lost. I don't know how many it is over the last 87 over the last 18 months. You know, the mapping, the sonar, the noises, the drilling can all lead to disorientation, which affects their migratory patterns, their hunting, their ability to, you know, avoid ships. So even if it shows ship strikes or entanglements, these can at least be caused by, there's at least a possibility of it being caused by the mapping of the ocean floor in this drilling. So I just ask you to please consider joining the fight against offshore wind. And as Sherry said, putting a committee together and researching, you know, all the stated facts and, you know, on both sides of the aisle. I appreciate your time. Once again, thank you very much for all you do.
Hello, my name is Gina Sinato. I'm actually a resident of Cumberland County, but I have extensive experience working with residents, the most vulnerable populations of Atlantic County. And I just have a few questions that I want to ask you guys. So I'm going to pose a question to you to ponder on while I kind of tell you about my personal experience. So I just want to know, for 179, the amending resolution for the Division of Mental Health, I want to know how you guys are going to use that money. Like, what are you going to use it towards specifically? How are you going to map that out? And so I would just like to talk about my experience working in Atlantic Care specifically. I worked previously for a suicide prevention grant that was extremely successful, but was not renewed. And therefore, because of it, people are suffering. The suicide rates, you know, have increased, especially since COVID. And this impacts the same thing with like the opioid, it goes hand in hand. And of course, maternal mental health, especially in women of color. So I just want to know how you guys plan to kind of address those issues with this money.
So, our public health officer is on. So, Kara, are you still on? CT drop off. So, the monies you see here are dollars that were given to public health through we have a substance abuse unit. I don't know the particular grant this is going to, but if you give me a second, I'll go up and I'll ask our public health officer if you'd like to know that.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Okay, great.
I mean, we can move on.
Yeah.
Okay. That was your way. Anybody else that wants to
I guess also, like, within your unit and, like, among commissioners, how do you guys plan to advocate and care for the mental health of the people that practice under you guys?
Well, we do have a public health, you know, a mental advisory board. We also have the public health board. And we work very closely with those boards. You know, I mean, they have some fabulous, and if you did the suicide prevention, you might be aware of some of the people on that board. Because we have people from the state, we have people from the county, the state, you know, mental health association. There's kayak, if you're familiar with that. So there's quite a bit going on with it, and we are very, very concerned. There's a lot of state and federal money being put towards things, and we continue through that board, going through all the RFPs and looking for money. The biggest problem we have right now is people to work. It's tough to get people to work.
Right.
Which is within that field.
absolutely, because the amount of money that they give the people to serve the job that they need to do is not enough, because even the secondhand trauma that comes along with working with these vulnerable populations is extreme. It can be extreme.
And I completely agree with you.
Thank you
But
for your
that's something
time.
that I do believe that they're addressing as well, because they see that. Throughout the state, they see that. They know that that's one of their biggest concerns.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else would like to speak?
Madam Chair, if I can just make a brief comment to that. Just earlier today, you heard the Education and Schools Committee talk about Insight. And part of what Insight's going to be is to fill in for students in those populations, for our students who are suffering. So we don't have to send them to PIP, which you know, that's not where they should be. Because there's so many other adult issues that they're dealing with inside of that facility. So just to be able to move our children that are dealing with these issues inside of our schools, that's what Insight is all about. To come in as a third party, to move it somewhere in the middle of the county, say at Carver City, and have the children sent out there. And then by doing so, the hope is that we'll be able to get them the services instead of sending them to PIP, where sometimes, let's be honest, nothing happens. They go to PIP and then it sits there and then nothing. They never actually receive the services that they need. So with the investment that we're talking about on the education and school side with Insight is hopefully the county's possibly investing money to hopefully help to get our school children the help that they need so that they can get the referral services they need. We can hook them into, whether it's Atlantic Care or whatever help they need, we're going to be able to provide it to them, in a better way than what we're providing it now. So that's another level of something that we're working on.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Why don't you do me a favor? You give me your name and phone number, and I'll call you myself tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for caring for that. They're also, the state's also pushing a suicide line that will go to youth, because that's another huge concern, especially after COVID, after pandemic and COVID.
Suicide's the third leading cause in adolescents' deaths now since COVID started. It's absolutely such a need, and it goes hand in hand with the opioid epidemic. So having that education in schools is huge because they have that resource, and research has shown the amount of how it can progress and give them the services that they need and cause less problems, give them more access, having this equity and using the funds to allocate to really have those services for the need, to support the need that's necessary.
So we did have a grant that we could use to publicize what we have available and what we're pushing, and we're using that through our administration to get that information out. If you leave your information or email it to Tara, then I'd be happy to keep you involved in some of that.
Awesome. Just don't write your name and phone number on the back.
Awesome.
Commissioner Parker and myself are both teachers here in Atlantic County, and we had a very interesting discussion last week, 2 weeks ago. Yes. Into the mental health, and I see it firsthand that the schools don't have the resources that they need to provide the mental health, and as you said, it's increasing. I see it in the classroom every day. I teach in Galloway Township. They have a behavioral health specialist. I think they'll look to add another one, but they lost some state aid. I mean, if the state really wants to help, these students are they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times they're safer in school than they are at home. Yeah. They're not going to get the help once they go home. I see it all the time. Parents say, "Oh yeah, I'm working on that." No, it may be that they are, and the services aren't available outside. Right. But if they can actually reach these students when they're in school, had a healthy meal, that's something the state should be looking into funding, specifically schools. We get grants that have strings attached all the time. Use it for mental health of the students. If it includes opioid addictions and obviously suicide prevention, I mean that's near and dear to my heart as well. So that's just something to consider.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Excuse me, he wants you to write your name and your phone number or email.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity. I just want to go back to the opiate settlement money.
Settling in.
John Armato, University Township, excuse me. You don't know who I am. Almost 90, I would say almost 100% of the money so far has been spent on treatment. And when we get to treatment, sometimes we've crossed that line that we should have been on the other side of that line as far as prevention. I think that we should look more towards prevention. And, you know, Jerry brought up the fact that towns that were under 10,000 population could not enter into that lawsuit. There was no ability for them to get that, any kind of that money. But yet all of them small towns do have schools, and they do have church organizations. They do have places that we could get into to do prevention. And I just wanted that to be aware of our moving forward with our task force and our ability to spend this money. Numbers sometimes, you know, you can look at numbers on either side of it, but the amount of money that an organization gets and treats 22 people, not that those 22 people are not important, because they are. And Atlantic Care does a heck of a service for our community. We have to look for the bang for the buck. We have to look, how can we enforce this? How can we make this greater and use this money the way that it was intended? You have to understand where this money is coming from. This money is coming from the opioid epidemic that killed hundreds of thousands of people. It was our obligation to use this money wisely. And when I speak, I always end with the fact that we have to stop pulling people out of the river. There comes a point in time when we have to go upstream and figure out why they're falling in the river. So use this money wisely. And I'm sure that now the county is controlling this. I'm sure that we can move forward and we can get these organizations that are out there. I mean, you know, Jared talked about South Jersey AIDS Alliance. Well over 1,000 people a year they entertain as clients. They don't charge a dime to these individuals, you know. So organizations are out there, explore these organizations, and make this money do what it's intended to do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here and everything that you do on the behalf of this, you know, situation throughout, you know, our county. I know that you're very, you know, embedded in this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to come forward?
Go back to the ones.
Okay, anybody online would like to come forward?
I'll go, please. I'll go up, please. Please do. County to pay for it. They have to decide which side they're on. Good evening. Hi.
My name is Mary Beth.
Microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Very nervous. My name is Mary Beth Jeannie. I reside in Sycamoreville, New Jersey, so I came down from inland today. I came down on part of Defend Brigantine Beach to discuss further our women's situation. I wanted to just kind of touch base on the importance of this issue for everyone in this room. I understand that, you know, everybody has different political views, they see this differently, they think different things, but what we know is that there's nothing good about this project. Nothing. There are no redeeming qualities here. They do not reduce CO2. They are not going to help the ocean. They are not going to do anything they say they're going to do. They are not green. That right there is just a small example of what's going on. Our whales are dying. Our ocean is dying. Our beaches are dying. We are going to die if we don't stand up and do something. We have to do something here. We come down and we beg and we plead and we hope that you as a board, we go to the governor's office, we go everywhere. And we really, really, really hope that you are listening, because we are talking, we read the data, we have the studies. We are all educated people. I'm sorry I'm a little emotional, but we are engineers, we are scientists. I am a nurse. I actually managed to get my 17-year-old daughter to come down here today. No small feat. We appreciate you listening to us. We need your help. We need to defend our ocean. We need to save what is ours. This is going to destroy everything. just the thought of having these to look at what they're doing, foreign energy being in control of us. This is a national security issue. This is a resident issue. This is a beach issue. This is a commerce issue. This is a small business issue. There is no issue this doesn't touch, and none of it is good. There are no redeeming qualities. This is not a Green Deal for anyone except the green that is in their pockets. And it is not coming back to this state. It is not coming back to us. And it is not coming back to our kids. There is not going to be an ocean for them. And I cannot imagine saying to her children, imagine we used to have these whales. We used to have these dolphins. This is now a memory. We're on Dolphin Lane in this building. What's it going to say? Memory of dolphins? And I'm not trying to be overly emotional. It's just, in the last year, I woke up in a nightmare. I woke up in an absolute nightmare. And every day it doesn't get better. It gets worse. We just had the 16th whale in LBI wash up. 16 in 16 months. Has anyone ever seen this? The fishermen have never seen this. No one has. Please listen to us and help us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Jones. I live in Brigantine, one of the original founders of Defend Brigantine Beach. I must apologize, I've been out of the loop for a couple months traveling out of state. I don't know where you stand on this issue, but has the Board of Atlantic County made a statement one way or the other? We want turbines, we do not want turbines.
What's the answer?
You tell us.
Yeah. Let's hear it from the panel.
You've not made a statement.
Why?
Will you make a statement? Are you going to make a statement? And if so, when?
Well, I can't tell you that, okay, because that's a whole board decision. So, you know, when we get around, there's a lot of information. I do know we're paying very close attention to our state legislators as well as our congressmen. So there's a lot of information, great information that you're giving us today, and we do appreciate your passion.
You're welcome for that. I do know we've been here before. What was our first time? How long's it been?
Last year, Tom.
It's been a full year and still no statement.
Why? That's crazy.
When?
I mean, I can tell you personally, not speaking for the Board of Commissioners, that I've attended all two of the meetings in Brigantine. I think the second one was hosted by Mayor Sarah. I also recently attended a meeting in Brigantine with Mayor Sarah and discussed. I think he said there are some things in the works and more details being worked out. But I have read the Bowen report. I sponsored the resolution initially calling for the moratorium until more studies were conducted. So again, I'm not speaking for the board. I don't know where we would go in the future, but I do know that I'm going to continue to stay in touch with Mayor Sarah and Brigantine, and see where they're going. I mean, I know where they are now, but he told me that there are other meetings being held and things that he was working on, and that was probably 3 weeks ago or so. I don't mean to point at you, but I know Commissioner Burns was there as well.
As far as I know, Brigantine is one of 33 communities who requested that moratorium. My fear is we're getting close to the time when the construction is supposed to start. So the longer we delay, the more it promotes them to continue with their plans. I believe they need to be shut down.
Yes.
Flat out told, we do not want turbines in our ocean.
Right.
The sooner you can make your statement, I believe the sooner more other communities will do the same and shut this whole thing down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do I have anybody else from the public that would like to come forward? What? Okay, that ends our public portion.
I'm sorry. Charlene Natale from Margate, New Jersey. I live at the beach and I'm very concerned. My whole family is. We love where we live. We don't want to get up and walk on the beach and see these monstrosities. My question is, will the county support funding, and if they do, will you support funding for lawsuits to hire the attorneys needed to fight these companies?
I cannot answer that.
Put a committee.
Why can't you answer it?
Because that is a decision between the board and administration, and that has not been brought up to, you know.
So that's a unified decision between
Sure.
the complete board. Is it something that
It's just
you would
not just the board,
consider?
it's administration as well, so.
Would that be something that you would consider in the future?
Again,
Can we have a
Committee.
specific community meeting for that reason?
Or committee.
Committee, sorry, committee
well,
meeting?
we do have a committee. We do have, you know, health and environmental committee.
Why put it off?
Just let the person speak. I'm not trying to interrupt you,
I'm sorry.
sir, but
Right,
this is
that's
her
true.
moment.
Thank you, Rick.
Well, I spoke, I said what I had to say. I'm waiting to hear,
From
you know,
you.
what's the next step?
What's the next step?
For something like, it hasn't come out of committee, it hasn't been, you know, that long. We're still waiting for more information, as I said. It's not just, you know, bring a team, like Commissioner Days had noted. There's more information coming from them. There's more information coming from our state senators, our assemblymen, as well as our congressmen.
So this was
We are
not-
looking for a direction.
Okay, so this was not the first time that you were educated on how this is going to affect?
You always bring more, but it's not the first, but you always bring more to the table.
Okay, so you will make a unified decision at one point?
Yes.
When?
Okay.
Because it's happening. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Veronica. I'm from Longport. I'm so disappointed in what I'm listening to. This is, to me, crazy. I can't give you an answer. We don't have an answer. Why? I mean, who do we go to? Since you committee cannot, the board cannot, who do we go as citizens? Who do we knock on the door? Should I go to my senator? Should I go to Governor Murphy's office? I mean, who? This is ridiculous. I can't give an answer. I don't have a position. You have to have a position. We just heard all these resolutions which were passed, which was like, I was like, what is going on? But we can't get an answer? I don't understand, Maureen. Can you help me out? Give me a solution.
I do not answer for the entire board. The entire board has
Okay.
not come up with one. I don't answer for that. I don't answer for administration on that.
Okay, so who do we go to?
You keep going to everybody that you go to. I give you that because of a lot of passion you have.
And get
many
nowhere.
people you go to. You get
Health
to
and
your
environment.
senators, you get to your congressmen, you get to your, you know.
How about
you
the
get-
birds? Where are the PETA people? You know, aren't these turbines supposedly killing birds? They get stuck in them, and I don't know, that's what I heard. I was in Greece recently, and they had 1 million turbines. They weren't even moving. If you don't have the wind, they don't move. They don't create energy. This is insanity. Insanity. So I'm frustrated. I don't know if anybody on the board is is anybody feeling the same way on the board that we're feeling? Just a personal opinion.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So can you join us then?
Do something.
You have power. We don't have the power. Seriously.
Commissioner Ballas.
Commissioner Ballas.
Help us.
So basically, here's where we're at, you know, or where I'm at anyway. You know, we've already passed 2 resolutions reference to stopping the wind turbines, putting a moratorium on them. I've personally, I know other commissioners that are sitting in this room have been to many of the presentations over in 15 and other places, which were very beneficial with a lot of information. You know, do our resolutions mean anything?
No.
They maybe mean a little bit to you guys that come here. They mean a lot to us. They mean nothing to Governor Murphy.
So that's where we have to get.
Wait a minute, who is invested in this?
Right.
You know, and
Making money.
if these wind turbines are built, he's gonna make money off of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, you know, there's 2 things that need to happen. One, there's an election in November, okay, because there's somebody that, you know, on the federal side that is pushing this, and then there's an election next year, because there's somebody on the state side, which no matter what happens, he's not gonna be here anyway. And you know, we need to get people that are against this, okay? Because this isn't,
It's not gonna make
we can make a
this is-
resolution, and it looks nice, and it sounds good, but it means zero. I can tell you, we've sent so many resolutions to the state, to our senators, to our assembly people.
That's right.
To Congress, to the president. And listen,
I don't hear
the
it.
first word I
don't
hear,
hear it.
the first word I hear right now will be the first word I've ever heard back from any of them. Nothing. You get
Okay.
nothing back from them.
Crickets, okay, so we need to, we have to.
lawsuits. The money for the lawsuits.
So then it's gotta go
lawsuit's
through
gonna be
the
it?
courts, and it's
I don't
gotta go
know.
through the election process.
So get your pocketbook, get your check.
I've
Let
already
it
given
get-
$150.
Well,
when I
I'll
was
give
in
you a check
Cincinnati.
tonight.
Municipalities
And it's
and the
lawsuits.
county.
Why can't the attorneys work for nothing, pro bono?
All
Can
right,
we
well,
get
that's
any?
a different.
I don't know any.
That's
I'm not
a
offended.
Attorneys gonna do it for free?
No, the answer is
Oh,
no.
wait a minute, you're retired in June, you got plenty of time. All right, it's a hard yes.
I'm gonna be
Hard
working
yes.
part-time and earn some extra money, that's what I'm gonna be doing.
And I'm not sure your question
Here,
about,
he'll work for nothing.
no, you won't. Your question about whether money can come from the county?
Yes,
can come from
yes,
taxpayers?
yes.
I'm not sure whether that's even legal, and that's something that.
All the
I guess-
townships are doing it.
I'm not sure the county has jurisdiction over this issue.
Exactly.
Okay, like you said, Frank, and I think what you said is absolutely true. You can pass all the resolutions you want, but this gets controlled either at the federal level or at the state level. And we don't, they can hear me, they don't.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't have a big mouth, so, no, don't worry about
Okay,
that.
thank you very much. And
That's where
thank
we
you.
are with this, you know?
So.
Exactly. There might be grant money that could come from maybe either the county or the state or the federal government.
I can't go with you
But good luck
but I
applying
am
for a grant to the federal government when the people that are in the office
Yeah, I
up there are for it. And they're not gonna give their money to you to fight them.
Go in my place.
No, yeah, we know.
So, listen, the county's still fighting to try and get money that's due from the state. That the county has won 3 times in court about the pilot bill, and the state keeps appealing it, and they will not give Atlantic County the money that they deserve. That's costing every one of you in here tax dollars.
That's a good point, and, I agree with everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Ballas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Commissioner Parker, did you have something you wanted to say?
Frank spoke so eloquently.
He certainly did, but like you said, we have done resolutions on the moratorium, we have done things like that. But, again, it goes on deaf ears, and it's not, you're right, it's gotta go to different levels, and you keep the fight up, that's all we can say. I mean, you guys, we see you go to the, the events, whether they're on the beach, or, you've been almost everywhere, so, a lot of us attend them. So, we gotta keep up the fight. I don't know what else.
Okay.
It's always
We got
grassroots.
We got the tenacity, so we're gonna keep fighting. That's about
Yes,
it.
we certainly did.
As
Yeah.
well.
What?
Isn't there?
What's that?
Do you have an upcoming event?
We do. So
Okay.
Sunday at 11 to 2 p.m. at Provincial.
Provenza.
Provenza.
Oh, well,
Ventnor Heights.
Oh, in Ventnor, it's not.
Ventnor Heights, yeah.
Provenza, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're having an event.
Champagne brunch.
Please come.
But Clean Ocean Action, they're a nonprofit. They're doing an informational session April 25th, but that's down in Cape May Courthouse. But they are a nonprofit. They've been fighting for the ocean for 40 years. They were literally the organization who stopped dumping in the oceans by our industry. They're an amazing organization. October 25th, cleanoceanaction.org. April 25th. Go on their website, sign up. Yeah, that's an informational session.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, the more information you put out there, the more it gets out to people, the more it helps us as well. So we do appreciate that. We appreciate you coming here. We really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, because they're trying to take away home rule, and they're successful.
take away home
They're killing us. They're trying to take away home rule and everything we know and love.
Just add one thing, if there's any way you can get, the younger people involved, I mean, you can see, starting on New Year's, every year, you have these polar bear plunges, and you have thousands of people flocking down to the ocean to jump into the ocean. Okay?
That's a good
Well,
idea.
what's gonna happen when, like you said, When you can't go in the ocean anymore.
Because it's
The
electrified.
ocean's a distant memory.
There's not gonna be an air show, I'll tell you that, with all those wind
But
turbines.
can I say something? Everyone doesn't have all this information in front of them. That's the thing. We need education.
It's gotta get out
We need
there.
to educate people.
So, thank you all.
Thank you.
Surfing community here, where are they?
Wait, who?
Our surfers. They go from little ones to big
That's
ones.
an interesting
Seniors
question.
are out there, so where are the surfers?
Well, they think that we're supported by the oil companies, which is why we're against the wind, but it's an interesting conundrum.
That was
Yeah, it's
always
been a conversation.
Surf Friday,
And you
Surf
have
Friday.
bring more information every time you come. So thank you.
Thank you.
Say we support big oil.
Thank you.
No, I know, but it's like years that big oil companies against us.
I have to
Oh, no.
Should she adjourn the meeting?
We have
Aw.
Brenda. Brenda has been with us for, come on up.
That's a
Brenda's
beautiful
getting married.
house.
You should see up there. So, this is Brenda's last meeting. She's going, I'm like, it's bad. Gotta go for voting and. So much.
Oh, Darryl, I think we could.
I find that no matter what. Will be missed.
She's the one that's taking all the pictures.
No, it's nice. She's not in Virginia, and they've always she's not and then I have to she failed me. Thanks, so I just don't want to be rude, and I gotta get my son. All right. Guess what?
Good luck to you guys.
This conversation probably really.
Well, no, it is.
The holidays are either playing green and
Oh, I know, they know.
We're still meeting.
I just have one last thing. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to attend the opening ceremony for the Field of Dreams in Absecon. They were honoring Jacob Hackett. So then Jacob was also Citizen of the Year this past year. But it's amazing to be able to see the children be able to participate in sports. If you've never been there to see a game, go out and see it. It's so heartwarming. They have over 300 children involved in this. Jacob had a lot to do with it. You should look him up too, and the amazing things that this young man has done for others. So that's all we have. And I just would like to say, we're not going to be back till May 1st. I want to wish happy Passover for those who are celebrating.
You have
Anything else, Mr.
I think
Cole?
she's interested.
I'll have a motion.
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.